Hi guys, this is Rose Gonzalez with Mind Camp. I'm here with Amaya Batiza. She is 23 years old and she is a coach and fifth in the country, third in the state at Community College Athletic Association. I wanted to bring her here today to share with you guys a little bit about her journey on how she became a coach and just a little bit about herself so that it helps inspire people to really go after their dreams. She is a young girl, as you can see, and she's already fulfilled a lot in her life. So welcome, Amaya.
Thank you.
So I wanted to just have you tell us a little bit about your story. What are you going to college for, how you got into swim, and just how you got into the fitness journey.
So I've been swimming my whole life. The whole plan growing up was to swim in college. I worked towards getting a scholarship since I was 4 years old and joined my first swim team.
And that was with the Aquacats?
That was with the Aquacats, San Ramon Aquacats, and then I went to SRBLA and then Crow Canyon Sharks. I started swimming year-round when I was 11, started doing doubles when I was 12. Like, my whole life revolved around swimming, and I played water polo. Then I got injured, and so when I went through my recruitment process, I hadn't gone my times in years because I was recovering from injury. So when it came down to either swimming in college or going away to like the big school that I wanted to go to, I gave up swimming.
Wow.
And so I went off to college. I gained a ton of weight.
Wow.
And
I can imagine that.
Yeah. And then I decided that I wanted to change what I was doing. I was really unhappy with it, so I went to the gym. And I went to one of the classes that they offered at the gym, and it was CrossFit, and I had no clue what it was. And I go, and they're like, all right, class, pick up a barbell. And I just, what's a barbell? So I follow
So you
everyone.
just did swim all of your life? You didn't work out before that or anything? Okay.
Yeah, swim and water polo, that was it.
Okay.
I did other sports like when I was a kid, like I did taekwondo and gymnastics, but nothing like too significant.
Okay.
Yeah, swim was the majority of my time.
Now, how did you find CrossFit? Like, did you have someone tell you about it, or you just kind of heard about it?
I looked at the class schedule of the classes they offer at the student gym, and I was like, I'll try this. Like, it's a good time. I can go between classes, and I go, like I said, I had no clue what a barbell was, so like I follow people over to the rack and go to pick up a barbell, and I couldn't pick it up. It was too heavy for me to pick it up, so one of the coaches had to like set me up with a training bar, and that's when I started. I was 18. It was 2013. So
That's when we first met, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you said that you got injured in swim. What happened?
I had a shoulder injury, and then I took like time off to rehab it, and then by the time I was going back, I got into a car accident, and so I messed up like my back and my neck, and was out for like 2 years.
Wow. And how how did that injury take a toll on you emotionally?
It was really tough because it's like my whole identity was being a swimmer, and my whole life plan was like revolved around that. So when that went away, it's like, who am I? What do I do?
Right.
I don't know. Like my sister gave me a list of schools to apply for. Like, I don't even know what to do or what I want to do.
So how did you get yourself out of that, like, feeling of not knowing where you were going, or?
I think that like that it just takes time and life experience. I think everyone goes through something similar where like when people are young, they have to figure out who they are and what they want in life, right? And I wasn't like the only person who's experienced that. But it was a little bit hectic, I guess, because I did have a plan and it was thrown off, so I had to like find something different.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, I just recently like discovered, okay, this is actually what I want out of life, and that's when things started falling into place.
That's so cool. I mean, you're so young and you have a lot of knowledge already on, so you're a full-time student, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you were competing in swim.
Mm-hmm.
and then you're a coach at CSA, and you're coaching some swimmers on the side because you coach Anthony. How do you fit everything in a day? I mean, you also find time to work out. So there's a lot of people that, you know, they just always have that excuse, like, I don't have time for this or that, you know?
I hear that a lot because with clients, it's like, oh, I didn't have time to do what we wanted to do. And honestly, it's about prioritizing and putting aside time for what you actually want to accomplish. And like, my life was extremely busy when I was swimming and doing all that, but it was always worth it. Like, it's always what I wanted to be doing. I didn't feel like overwhelmed or stressed out about it because I love my job. I love swimming. I enjoy education. So it was never like a drag. Like, it was never something I had to do. It was like opportunities that I get to experience.
So you enjoyed the journey?
Yeah.
Woke up every morning saying, you know, this is not, you're not like one of those people that go, oh my gosh, it's Monday, like, oh, I gotta go to work.
Well, I mean, there's definitely days where I'd like wake up at 5 a.m. and be like, the last thing I want to do right now is get in a cold pool, but after practice I always felt better about it, and like, I know if I don't go, it's gonna be worse than if I do.
So you practice in the water, outside in the cold, at what time?
Well, in college, thankfully, practice was until 7.
Okay.
But like growing up, I would have practice at 5 before school, and then go back after school.
Like high school?
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's dedication. So you also taught morning classes at CSA too, right?
Yeah.
So you woke up at, what classes did you teach?
During swim season, I was teaching like 5 and 6 a.m. So I'd just wake up early every day, and like on the days I didn't have practice, I would go to work. So it just became my routine to like wake up early and get into it, get stuff done.
Yeah. Did you have like a morning routine or anything like that?
Yes, it was different on days that I swam. On days that I swam, I just woke up, got coffee. My car would already be packed from the night before. Like, I kept everything all together. Yeah, and then I just get my coffee and drive to practice.
Okay.
And then for days that I work, I would make breakfast, grab my coffee, and then go to the gym.
Yeah. So as we talk about schedule, and I know you have like days where you swim and days where you coach, can you give people an example of like what a day looked like? Because you also teach in the afternoon. So you would teach in the morning, you would teach in the afternoon, you taught kids CrossFit, you trained, you worked out. Like, what would your schedule look like?
So during swim season, I would, on a typical like double day, I would wake up, go to practice, and then go to class, and then go teach a class, and then come back to school and swim again. And then I go back to CSA and coach again, and then I'd either have like a night class, or sometimes I'd have the night off, which was nice.
Yeah.
To
When
do
did
homework.
you find time to do homework? Just in
It was,
between?
yeah, whenever I had time. I got really efficient at like using every free moment that I had to just buckle down. Like, I didn't spend a lot of time on my phone, like distracting myself. I would be like, okay, I have a half hour here, and if I don't get this done, then I'm not gonna.
Yeah. So early on you learned how to say no to certain things that you didn't have time for. Okay. So you recently landed a pretty cool job for a company called Exos. So she's now a personal trainer for Exos at Google. How cool is that? So congratulations. So being a swimmer and then being a coach at CSA, how did you get yourself to make this leap? Because this is a big deal. I mean, Google, everybody knows Google, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of out of your comfort zone because you know, it's just all these corporate people and stuff like that. So like, how did you come about it? Like, were you nervous at all? And how did you get yourself psyched to like move forward?
Yeah, so I was looking for something that I could make more of a career path, because I'm almost done with school, and I'm like, okay, I need to get started.
What are you going to school for again?
I'm getting my degree in Spanish, but I'm going to be getting my master's in kinesiology. I'm like applying to programs right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I figured out like, okay, I'm not going to do anything with my Spanish degree. I love what I'm doing right now too much to leave it. I want to like grow and experience more within this field. So I started looking for stuff, and then my friend, like, out of the blue, it was crazy how it happened, because like I put it out there that I'm looking for stuff, and then she texted me and she's like, hey, send me your resume, like we're hiring. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, like Google's gonna hire me, okay. So I like it was really bad, but I didn't even edit my resume, and I just sent it to her, and they called me like that day.
Wow.
And I was hired the next week.
So what do you mean by you put it out there?
Like, I started looking for stuff. I wanted to, like...
Did you, like, text friends, or...?
So I was thinking that I wanted to start my own program. So what I did was I went and talked to various gym owners around the area, and I was like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. I wonder if it would fit in with what you guys are doing here, if I could create something here. And I talked to, like, 5 or 6 different gym owners just in our area, and I was actually getting into like deeper conversation with one gym, and I went and like observed a couple classes and stuff, and then like that week is when my friend emailed me or texted me. Yeah.
So you basically just kind of manifested something that you didn't even know.
Yeah, it was like the universe like landed it in my lap.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm really in awe of your story.
It's crazy. It's so surreal. Like, still, just being in that environment, I get lost all the time. Like, so there's so much going on. Thankfully, like when we're in the gym, I'm like, okay, I know what's going on here. Like, I'm not nervous about that part, but like walking around, I'm like, I feel like I'm not supposed to be here.
In your gym clothes.
Yeah.
Did you have any fears or doubts kind of trying to move out of that comfort zone and not knowing what was going to happen and how things were going to work out?
Definitely, because my whole plan, like, for school was to be a teacher, because I love working with kids, which I still do.
She does.
And so I was going to get my Spanish degree and then get my teaching credential, and then now that it's like I had like 6 more classes left when I made this decision, I'm like, you know, I don't want to leave what I'm doing. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to tell my parents that I'm like changing my major again, because I've been in school for like 6 years. But then, like, as soon as I got that call, everything was like reassured. Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you deserve it. I mean, she coaches my classes and she holds all the babies and, you know, I watch you with the kids at CrossFit. So, I mean, you absolutely show your passion when you're working with us. So, you know, you definitely deserve all of that. So, a few years ago, you did Habitat for Humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that. Like, how old were you and what made you want to do that?
I was 21, and I wanted to, like, I love traveling. That's been something that I've been doing. Like, since I was a kid, my dad would, like, take us to Mexico, and I've always had that, like, travel bug and, like, want to see the world, and I was just wanting to do something different. Like, I know most people my age, like when I was 21, would want to like go to Vegas.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I want to go like I looked into like the Peace Corps too at that time, but I was still in school, so I'm like, I'm not going to do anything that drastic. So I looked into Habitat for Humanity, and they have programs where you can go. They're global village programs. You can go and like build houses, and I spent a week in El Salvador in like the jungle building a house for a family in need. And cool. We got to like meet the family,
and that was just you wanting to go out there and travel but help at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's you have such a big heart, you know, so I love that story. Where do you see yourself in the next few years? Like, what are your long-term goals? And
yeah, so after I get my master's in kinesiology, I'm hoping, like, I'm also going to be interning with the team that I swam for in college. So I'm hoping that that leads to like a more steady, permanent career. Like I could teach and coach and
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What message would you like to leave with people who are watching this or listening to this? Maybe they want to do a career change, or they're wanting to, go to the gym, but they just can't figure out the time, or
Mhm.
just any message. I mean, even for a young adult, like they can't figure out what they want to do with their life.
Yeah.
Or
I think it's so important to like spend time on yourself and look into yourself and figure out what it is that you actually want out of life. Because there's so many people out there like in majors they don't like in school and
Yeah.
in jobs that they hate, and they're just like struggling through life every single day. Like they're like, I want to get into the gym, I want to make these changes, but it's that they don't do it for themselves for whatever reason. And I think it's so important to figure out what it is you actually want and like go for it and not be scared of the consequences.
yeah, that's. I'm like in shock because you're 23 years old. These things that you're talking about, I literally did not learn until I was probably in my 30s. So tell us about how you kind of geared yourself up to be, I mean, fifth in the country and third in the state too. I mean, that to me like stands out a lot. That's huge. Like, I think that that's such a big accomplishment that,
Yeah.
not many people can.
It's so I swam the mile. That was the event that I achieved those in. I think I had a little bit of an advantage there because no one else wants to swim the mile, and then I also happen to be pretty good at it. I don't think that, I mean, I don't have like a swimmer's body, so I don't think I was like genetically inclined to have that happen to me, but I, like I said, it was something that I wanted, and so every thing in my life was geared towards accomplishing that goal. Like every single practice I would make the most out of it because like I didn't care if I was tired or if I didn't feel good or if I was sore. Like it's like there's this many days until I get to state and I have to perform this well at state, and everything was like calculated. I was like, I need to go these splits in practice, and there was never like a moment wasted. Like everything was, and my nutrition needs to be on point, and I need to be sleeping. I went to bed at 9 every single day. Like everything was, when I get a goal in my mind, there's nothing that's gonna like stop me from getting it.
Yeah, yeah. So you made a really good point. You said that you don't have a swimmer's body, and I hear a lot of people say like, oh, they're successful because they're talented and they do this naturally or whatever. So you said that it's more because you were working hard and you took the time to be good at what you wanted to be good at, and you had that discipline, right? So I think that's a really big message that you've given there, is that it isn't about talent, it's about persistence and hard work. Yeah, and now look at you. I mean, you're doing amazing things. You're 23 years old, and I can't wait to see what else you accomplished in the next, 5-10 years. Yeah. So, well, thank you. Yeah, yeah. Well, doing this with me.
Thank you.
So you guys, I'm bringing a lot of different people to interview to help you guys get inspired to dream big and to never give up on your goals. Hopefully this helps you guys just go out there and be your best.